Well, welcome everyone to the Bob and John Sports Hour, and tonight's show is all about greatness, the best athletes of all time in individual sports. And on today's show, it's all about the NBA and ESPN's top 10 all-time list. We will agree. We will agree with ESPN, or will not agree with this list. Bob may destroy it. Andre may destroy it. So let's say hello to our host, a man whose knowledge of sports is so vast that ESPN calls him to fact check their stats, Mr. Bob Sharp. I had you this week, Bob. And joining us is a man who warned Tiger Woods to stop sticking his hand in all those holes, only for Tiger to realize years later that Andre wasn't talking about golf, Mr. Andre Sala.
Hello, how we doing? I'm back. And he finally, and I guess he didn't listen to
If he would have just listened to you and understood that your Italian accent, you were saying whores, not holes, he would have got you. He would have understood what you were
me.
talking.
And he would have been a much better man today.
Oh, what do
He
you?
wouldn't have had any back pains.
That's where I was going to go with it. Maybe that's the reason he has back issues. Oh, well, guys, are you guys ready to tear into this list? I know we have a Warriors fan, we have an old-time Celtics fan here. I am kind of your Warriors Sixers fan, kind of grew up watching the Sixers and kind of grew up, as I got older and moved here and started to like the Warriors. So I'm going to have kind of a couple things that I'm going to change on a list, and I think there's an individual that needs to be moved up on that list. And I'm sure Bob's got a couple guys he wants to kick the fuck off this list, and Andre, I'm sure, has got a couple guys that he thinks deserves to be on this list. So you guys ready? You guys ready to destroy ESPN's top 10 list?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Bob, are you ready, Bob? You're going to be good? You're going to be
I'm
nice?
ready.
You're going to be a nice guy today? You're going to be nice, Bob?
I'm going to be polite. I'm going to be polite and factual.
All right.
And opinion.
And opinionated. We're going to start with number 10. And number 10, the guy on the number 10 list is Shaquille O'Neal. 19 season, played 1,207 games, 34.7 minutes per game, 23.7 points per game, field goal percentage of 58.2. Hey, Shaq had 4.5% chance of making a three-point shot. 10 and a half, almost 11 11 rebounds, 2.5 assists, almost a steal a game, and he had 2.3 blocks per game. I thought that average would be higher. I felt like he blocked a lot more, didn't you guys?
No.
No?
No.
He was maybe just trying to avoid the contact, maybe. But I don't know. I don't see someone his size trying to avoid contact, though.
I think he'd give it instead of avoiding him.
Yeah. All right, let's start with Mr. Sharp. Mr. Sharp, is Shaquille...
Okay, in my honest opinion,
Yeah.
I'm going to be fair here.
Yeah.
I would not have Shaq on this list. I'm sure, if Shaq heard this, he'd probably come in and kick my ass. Okay, but I think Hakeem Olajuwon was a far better center, only because the only thing Shaq could do was Shaq could like post you up, bump you down to the hole, and shoot.
Yeah.
Where in Olajuwon's prime, Shaq couldn't guard him because Olajuwon could hit a 15-footer. Olajuwon had a lot more offensive moves. Yeah. Olajuwon was actually quicker to the spot to rebound, more mobility. And the one thing I cannot give Shaq the bump over Hakeem is the fact that Shaq was a liability in a close game.
Yeah.
Everybody fouled Shaq. Okay, it was called the Hack-a-Shack.
The Hack-a-Shack.
Because they knew he couldn't hit a free throw.
Yeah.
He was a liability. I mean, how can you be in the top 10 knowing in the last 4 minutes of a game you'd either have to sit out or you'd have to learn how to make a free throw? Okay? Shaq was a liability in any close game toward the end. And Shaq wasn't Shaq till he got to the Lakers. Okay, he got Kobe, he got Ori, he got Fox, he got some help. But Shaq wasn't Shaq when he was with the Orlando Magic.
No.
He got ate up.
No. He came into the league when he was 18, right? No, no,
Shaq
no.
went to LSU.
That's
And
right.
he
He
came
went
out
Yeah,
as
he
to
a
came
yeah,
out of
senior.
LSU.
yeah. He
You
was a
didn't
lot
come out of
older.
high school.
He was a lot older. I forgot about that part.
Mhm.
Andre, your thoughts?
Well, me personally, I think I would have picked Bill Walton over him. I don't know what list Bill Walton's on. I mean, I don't know if he's up there in the top 10, and he probably isn't. But I think I would have picked Bill Walton for the same reasons as Bob was saying. Bill Walton can run. He can really block shots more than Shaquille. He can score down low easily, and he had that 8 to 10 foot shot. Sometimes maybe a 15 footer that he might make.
Yeah.
But I think Bill Walton would have been a much easier pick. And I don't know what his stats are because, like I said, I don't go by stats. I just go by what I seen the guy do. And I thought Bill Walton would have been much better than Shaq.
Yeah, I gotta agree with both of you guys on Shaq. I think the key factor with Shaq at the time was he did come in. I would say of any player, body, physical size, I think he was one of those guys that came to the league that was pretty much ready to play. Would you agree with that,
Mhm.
size wise and muscle
Absolutely.
mass and all that stuff? So, and I get it. I agree with you. Akeem was quicker to the hole. He was quicker everywhere. But I still believe that I think in a situation in the paint, Shaq beats him every time. I just think body mass, strength, and I won't say ability in the beginning, but I think towards the middle of his career, I think if him and Akeem were both at their prime at Shaq's size in the middle of his career, I don't think Akeem stands a chance. I really don't. As far as
Hakeem in his prime ate Shaq up.
oh, I know.
But also, consider this though: there's a minute left in the game, and it's tie score. Who would you rather have having the ball,
Oh no,
Elijah
no,
Wan
no,
or Shaq?
no! I'll give you that. The last person I wanted to field goal shooting a field goal, it would. I'm
Or
sorry,
free throw?
free throw would be Shaq. He would be the last person that I would want. And I think a lot of teams even took him out of the game. I remember towards the end of his career,
Mhm.
they would pull him out of in those last seconds just to avoid that situation where, they would foul him and get him to go to the line. So
Yeah.
out of your guys' opinion, where does Shaq go on the list? Where does he go? If you were to put him on a top
Well,
list, where did you put him?
he's
That's hard.
he's
That's hard.
definitely in the all time. Go ahead, Andre.
No, no, no. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, he's
You,
definitely in the all time 50 list.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't. I mean, I would have problems with him being in the top 20.
yeah,
I mean, he has a lot of points, but he played 19 years.
right.
But I mean, look at his liabilities. But getting back to the Bill Walton thing,
Yeah,
Bill Walton was a lot better passer than Shaq too.
yeah,
Bill Walton won a ring in 1977 with the Portland Trailblazers.
yeah,
Okay, except for me and probably the people in Portland, nobody else remembers the other four guys because they were not stars. And they beat a star-studded 76er team who
yeah.
had everybody.
Mhm.
Right? So that tells me that if you take away the team concept and you have to be led by one man to lead a team that's not very good, yeah,
Yeah.
Bill Walton over Shaq all day long.
All right, all right, all right. I'll change. I'll change it. I'm gonna
I
leave.
think
I'm gonna
I
leave the
think what
10
you
spot. I'm gonna leave the
and what
10.
you were saying. No, go ahead, John.
Go ahead. No, so I'm gonna go ahead and put Bill Walton in that
I
10
put Akeem Olajuwon.
Akeem
I put Akeem
Olajuwon and
Olajuwon.
Akeem Olajuwon. I'm sorry, and
I
Akeem.
think too. Let's say Shaq would have been able to push those guys out of position, so he could get down low to get the ball and maybe put up a little layup or something. I think if he did that, push them somewhat out of the way, I think those guys with their wingspan ability, as he because they were also a little taller than him too. No,
Yeah,
he was what
Mhm.
7'2", So the height might have
Shaq
been
7'2".
the same might have been the same, the height. But I think with their wingspan, as he tried to push him out of the way and go up to make the layup, I think because they had such a wide wingspan, they would have maybe been able to swap the ball away as he's trying to put it up to shoot,
Yeah.
even though he pushed him out of the way to get position. I
Yeah.
don't know if that makes sense, but to
So
me it makes sense.
yeah, let me recap so anyone that ends up watching, the qualifications for this would be must be in the top 20 in their sport, could play in any era, dominate in their position. Did they change the game? How important were they to their team? Could they be a two sports player? That's kind of an added thing, guys. And championships do not count. MVPs do. So I'm going to ask both of you guys now that I'm going to start with you, Bob, because you put Akeem in there. Does Akeem fit all those qualifications that we have on there? Could
Yes.
Akeem play in any era?
Yes.
Yes.
He could.
Could he dominate? Did he dominate in his position? That's a hell yes.
Yes.
Did he change the game? Do you feel
I think he changed the way. I think he changed the game because a center being more mobile and be able to shoot within 15 feet and doing all the things he did athletically as he was. I think he changed the position.
Do you
Because
feel
up
he mimicked?
until
Do you feel he
up
mimicked
until
Akeem's?
Hakeem, you would say that the greatest scoring center is Kareem.
Right. Do you think he
You
mimicked
know,
his
I mean,
game?
but trust me, there was a lot of good centers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love Dave Callens, but I'm not going to put Dave Callens on this list.
All right.
I love Bob Lanier. Bob Lanier, watch it. I think Bob Lanier would have straight up had a great matchup with Shaq because they were both big guys, but Bob Lanier was a bit more mobile, and Shaq was going to have to play about 15 feet away from the rim, and I'm not sure if his rebound stats would have been that great playing 15 feet away from the rim because these guys could hit the 15-footer.
Yeah. How about you, Andre? Let's flip it to you. You brought up the Bill Walton. Could have Bill Walton played in any era?
I think so because, well, maybe not this era, because this era it's all about 3 points. But I think he could have played in any era up to this one here. Like I said, because now everything seems to be 3-point centers. We want everybody that can shoot 3 points. We don't want to have a center
I know,
that can
it's
be
ridiculous.
down low and dominate rebounds and except for Jokic. He seems to be the only one that can do that.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think he could have played in it. And then he could have played in all the eras because up to then it was about having a good center, making sure he's good down low, making sure that he can rebound, give you a second chance, or if worst comes to worst, nobody else has a shot, that they can dunk it to him and he can, put it in with no problem.
Do you feel he dominated his position?
I think so.
Yeah.
Even though
when it was healthy.
Even though his position was short, because he always had leg problems because of his. He grew too fast, and his he always had feet problems.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think Walt? Well,
okay.
Go ahead, Bob.
Well, no, I'm just going to put this out there because I'm just going to say this one time, and one time only. I think that could they play in the different eras?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you got to throw that one out because everybody who played in the 60s and 70s, they're just going to get better because today there's better sports medicine. You can work out 24/7. You don't have to go to work, find another job. You have better equipment, better shoes, better trainers. You can work, like I say, you can work out more. The guys back then in the 60s and early 70s, they didn't get to have all that. The equipment sucked. They're wearing Chuck Taylors, okay?
Yeah.
They're riding on buses going from town to town instead of chartered flights. I mean, everything they were doing made them the best at the time. Now, were they the best? They were the best athletes of the day. But if they played today, they would be better because they would get to play as kids AAU for 10 years so they can get better at basketball. They didn't get to do that back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also
so
think
everybody who plays today is going to be worse in the 60s and 70s because you're taking all their luxuries away.
Right.
And
And
everybody,
now it's become about skill. And now it's becoming about skill. So that's
it was skill. It was
It
skill
was
back then.
it was skill back then. I
yeah,
think too
skill,
also
speed, size, position, the way the game was played, the way the game was played in the 60s is a lot different than the way the game is played today.
Sure it is.
I mean,
in the
so
60s and
Go ahead.
70s, if you drove for a layup, you're going to come out bruised.
Hmm.
You're not coming out fair skinned, tan lotion stuff. You're coming out, with a couple of bruises.
Hmm.
These kids that are playing today, they don't even have to do nothing. All they got to do is just bounce the ball up and down, and they get a foul called on them.
yeah,
And they're going up for 2 points. They don't have to
yeah,
dribble.
there's no
They don't
more.
have to, they do go around the person, for a layup. But as soon as they like they got the screener at the top of the key, as soon as that guy with the ball dribbling goes around that center with the screen at the top of the key, as soon as he makes that turn and the defender's with him, all of a sudden that defender gets called for a foul without swinging at the ball, without giving him a little contact. Oh,
Yeah.
the knee's rubbed.
Yeah, yeah.
His knee rubbed with his thigh.
He touched his elbow.
And that's what they do
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the kids that are playing today are prima donnas.
Yeah.
They have no, they got
Yeah.
body muscles and they're good, but they don't have that.
They don't have that Andre body.
Thank you.
All right. So before we jump into the next person at number 9, where do you put Shaq?
Top 50, but not top 20.
Top
Yeah.
15, not top. All right, both of you guys. All right, let me take Shaq. You guys can't see Shaq is disappearing from the screen. And number 9 is coming in, and that is going to be the man, Kobe Bryant, 20 seasons, 1,346 games, averaged 36 minutes, 25 points a game, a field goal percentage of 44.7, 3-point percentage of 32.9, had 5.5 assists or 5.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1.5 steals, and 0.5 blocks. Mr. Bob Sharp, does Kobe deserve to be number 9 or higher or lower?
No. Lower.
Lower.
Okay. So this is the one where I had to go up and look stuff up. Allen Iverson had a better scoring percentage. Okay. Allen Iverson was 26.7. Kobe's 25. Kobe had more help than Allen Iverson. I would put Allen Iverson there, or I would put Oscar Robertson there, because I think this list is doing a disservice not including Oscar Robertson. 6'5", averaged 25.6 points per game. But Oscar Robertson was the original king of the triple doubles, playing guard. And the only reason why he doesn't have more MVPs and more championships, because he dominated in the 60s and early 70s, but he had to play against the Celtics all the time, who dominated everything. But Oscar Robertson is just to leave him off this top 10 list. You guys are crazy, because if you could imagine Oscar Robertson in his prime now, with better workout regimens and constantly being in shape and all the luxuries that the players have now that he didn't have, Oscar Robertson would dominate this league like nobody's business. I mean, Oscar Robertson was the real deal. And Kobe's just there because he had Shaq, and it was they were on TV a lot. But Oscar Robertson,
he wore the purple and gold,
put
Bob.
Robertson or Allen Iverson in that spot.
Yeah, he wore the purple and gold, which makes a big difference.
The only thing it's true. Oscar Robertson was a great player. The only thing I kind of am hesitant about him, and this is nothing about his skills, nothing about his shooting. It's just that he seemed like a crybaby. Every time he went for to drive or for a hoop and he got bumped, he's just like Draymond Green is right now. Draymond Green complains and cries so much to the refs that I'm surprised he doesn't get more technicals and gets kicked out of the games because of this.
Mhm.
To me, and Oscar Robertson was the same way. He cried and complained that eventually the referees called fouls just to keep him quiet, not for them to not to hear his arguing again.
See, this
You
is
know,
why I love this. This is why I love doing this. See, these are things that the guy that's reading a stat line doesn't know about. Maybe I've never seen him play, doesn't know that this is something. Oscar, as far as ESPN's list, is at number 11. So bumping Oscar Robertson up to number 9 isn't a big deal. It wouldn't be a big deal over Kobe.
Right.
And I have the same thing with Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson, if he wouldn't have, not complain, but act like how can I put it? If he wasn't a
Prima donna?
homo,
Hey,
no,
dude,
not
he was
prima
playing.
donna
He
too.
was playing in one of the fucking toughest cities to play in, dude. You make
Hey.
one single mistake in Philadelphia, and they remember it for the rest of their life. Their grandchildren are talking about that
But
moment.
to me, he acted like he was a homeboy, coming up with the
He had his posse.
dark
He had his
glasses
posse.
on. He was the leader of the posse.
He
If
had a
he would
posse.
if he would have stayed away from that, if he would have acted the same way his other players or his teammates were,
Yeah,
he wouldn't be playing now. He probably retired, but he probably would have had a better career.
yeah,
And then he didn't want to come to practice or he didn't want to practice hard because this is just practice.
We're
yeah.
talking about practice,
Because
Andre.
Talking
about
about practice. Nobody, you don't need to practice,
it's
man.
practice, man. So if he would have stopped doing things like that, I think he would have been a better player, and probably his stats would have been better because he did have the knack to dribble, go around the guys and then pop a shot.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did have that.
yeah. Well, I'm not a Kobe fan. I know. Don't hate me out there. And I think Kobe, to me, was someone that mimicked two special players. I think, and that was Jordan and Julius Irving. I think he mimicked his game of those two guys, and I don't think he should be above Julius Irving. I am putting Julius Irving at number 9. That's my pick, and to
Whoa,
me,
that's a good one.
yeah, I mean, a Class A
Yeah.
player, showed up every day, played his ass off, and did what it took to, he didn't win the championships. He didn't have the MVPs. He didn't have Shaq, didn't have didn't have the powerhouse team that Boston had, So to me,
Well,
I'm, go ahead, Ron.
no, I'm sorry to cut you off. No, but they did in 93.
They did 93. Yeah.
No, 83.
Yeah, 83, because it was 3 years after this is the thing that pisses me off. The city of Philadelphia waits till we leave to start winning championships. We leave in 79, and then all of a sudden they're winning World Series, they're winning Stanley Cups, they're freaking winning NBA championships, they're winning the football Super Bowl. I mean, come on, Philly. What the hell, man?
Hey, they wanted
Well,
the
I
riff
mean,
rats
but-
out of the house.
That's
They
right.
wanted the
But
they
just
wanted
to
the
be
riff
fair,
rats.
though,
Yeah.
just to be fair, Julius didn't win his ring until the Sixers got Moses Malone.
Moses Malone. Let me.
There's another one that probably could have.
And
That
I
probably
know.
could have.
Why isn't Moses on the list?
Yeah.
But
He
you
probably could
can't
have
have a
held up
top
with
10 with 5 centers.
Yeah.
No, Moses alone could have probably had the skills to
I
stand
think
up.
Moses Malone would have. I think Moses would have taken Shaq, myself personally.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
West, even West Unseld, even West
Wes
Unseld
Unseld.
probably would have took Shaq too. I mean, because West Unseld, I think was just as muscle as him, maybe not as bulky, but he had the upper strength in his shoulders and arms that he
Mhm.
probably could have stood up with Shaq and give him a tough fight.
Yeah. So I've got replacing Kobe at the number 9 spot, and I'm waiting for your pick too as well, Andre. But I got Bob's going with Oscar Robinson, me going with Julius Irving. Is there somebody else that deserves that number 9 spot over Kobe, in your opinion, that you
Shit,
remember?
that I remember.
Yeah, you don't have to go all the way back to ancient times. I know you go. I know you go way back there. I know.
Well, let's see. Back in 1954,
No shit. Pistol
Dolph
Pete.
Chase,
Pistol Pete.
George
Pistol,
Mikan.
yeah, but Pistol P was a guard, not a forward. Are we just going by positions?
No. Just the spot.
No.
Just the number. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think the Warriors had anybody could have stood up
No.
in that position. So
No.
Julius Irving sounds like a good
All right.
a
We'll
good pick from what I've seen.
we'll stick with we'll have to duel it out
But
between Oscar Robinson and Julius Irving at the end here.
but I have to do one thing. I got to give a shout out to Rick Barry.
Rick Barry.
Ah, not yet.
Not yet.
I got him farther up the list. Not yet. Not yet, Andre. Not yet.
Hold that thought, Andre. Hold that thought there.
I'm gonna get there, Andre. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
there.
but I don't know if I could put him up in the top 10 though.
All right, we'll get to that one. Let's go. Let's move. Let me get rid of Kobe.
Hear me out when I get there,
Yeah.
okay? Just hear me out when I get
We
there.
get rid of Kobe. And number 8, the number 8 player on the ESPN list is Tim Duncan. 19 seasons, played 1,392 games, averaged 34 minutes. Well, this one shocked me. I thought his points per game was higher, but it's 19.
No.
Yeah,
That's
19.
it, huh?
Yeah,
I
field
thought
goal
it was
percent.
I thought it'd be like around 25,
For
26.
I always I can
No.
close my mind and I see him scoring all the time for some reason. I don't know what it
All the
was.
time. Every time he's down low, he's scoring.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the problem is, I mean, you had
you had a team.
Ginobili,
Yeah,
Tony Parker,
yeah,
Sean Elliott,
Yeah.
David Robertson,
Yeah.
David Robinson,
Robinson. Yeah,
and you had 4 other options that probably had
Yeah.
double digits in their
Yeah.
careers as well.
there was a lot
But
of
Tim Duncan could rebound. Tim Duncan had that bank shot.
Yeah.
And I went back thinking about all the great power forwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Spencer Haywood, Connie Hawkins, Kevin McHale, James Worthy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at all these guys that I'm just remember playing that spot. There were some big badasses. There was guys who could light it up. And I'm thinking to myself, no, Tim Duncan's perfect, number 8.
number 8.
I have no problems with Tim Duncan.
Let me finish reading his stats here real quick. Field goal percentage 50.6, 3 points 17.9%, rebounds almost 11, assists 3, steals 0.7, and 2.2 block shots. So Andre, are you cool with Bob's decision to keep Mr. Duncan at number 8?
Well, he did mention a bunch of other choices.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I gotta admit, though, Tim Duncan was he could hold it up. The only one that I might be able to think, but he might not score the points like Tim Duncan, but he could have played the defense, and he could have rebound. Would have been oh shit, the guy from the Warriors. When the Warriors split the 2 centers and they won the
Nate
championship.
Thurman?
Who? No,
Nate
not
Thurman?
Nate. No, not Nate Thurman. Clifford
Not
Ray.
Clifford Ray.
Yeah, Clifford Ray.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
Clifford Ray, he ran, he hustled. He didn't score like his 12-foot jump shot
Yeah.
like these guys can. But as far as a rebounder, and a blocker to play that position with some kind of force, yeah,
Yeah.
he could,
Yeah.
But even though I still got to give it to Duncan, because Duncan, if you need points, Duncan will get it. Where Clifford Ray, if you need points,
Yeah.
he won't get it. Even if they hack him
Yeah.
and he goes for the free throws, he won't get them.
Yeah.
He's like Draymond Green right now.
Yeah.
He'll give you 6 points, but he'll score 6 points, but he'll give you good defense.
Yeah. I kind of slash. I kind of think I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve the 8th spot, but I kind of think Karl Malone should be in that spot. That's just my opinion. I think, I think both of them should share 8. How's that? I don't think I want to bump them out of 8, but I still feel Karl Malone should be in that top 10. And where I put him would probably be, actually, it would be between 8 and 10 for me, to be honest with you, now that I think about it. So right in that spot. Maybe 8 is even a little high for Malone, but
where's Karl Malone on the top 20?
Karl Malone is number. I think he's number. Let me find it again. Karl Malone. Where did you go, Carl? He is number 16. Number 16 on the list. So, does Karl Malone bump up 6 spots? Does he bump up 8?
Yeah.
8 spots?
I don't think he
Well,
does.
no. I would keep Karl Malone out of the top 10, probably 11.
11.
But Karl Malone was a generational talent that you don't see all the time.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve the 16th spot. He should be higher up.
Yeah.
So I will add him to. I'm gonna actually put him at the 10 spot between your guys' Bill Walton and Hakeem Olajuwon. I don't think he deserves number 8 spot. That's a little high, but I think he deserves to be in the top 10. I think he changed the game. I think he could play any position on the court. I think he could score at any time. Yeah, I do, Bob. Come on, man. He had good ball control. He had good moves.
Karl Malone could not play point guard. That was John Stockton's
right. Karl Malone.
Well, no, not when you have a John Stockton, no. But I'm saying if he had to run the point, he could.
No, I don't think so.
I think he's too tall.
I'm adding him. Screw you, bastards. I'm adding to number 10. I will fight with you guys with the Bill Walton, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Karl Malone. I will lose that argument at the 10 spot.
Who do you have number 9? Who do you have number 9?
At number 9, it's Kobe Bryant, but you guys are saying Oscar Robertson, and I'm saying Julius Irving should be at that number 9 spot.
Julius Irving, I wouldn't put Kobe. Well, it's hard, man.
Well, we're gonna move Kobe down. I think Kobe's somewhere right around.
Kobe's out of the top 10.
Yeah, I think he's somewhere between, like Bob said, 11 and 15, somewhere right around there. I think.
Yeah, because you got him at 9, right?
Yeah. The ESPN does. Don't get the people watching the show mad at me for putting him at number 9.
But we also said that he could be number 9 along with Julius Irving.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement. Tim Duncan stays at number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see him moving up. Yeah.
All right. I don't see him moving up or moving down. Yeah.
I don't think Karl Malone did as much as Tim Duncan did.
Right.
To be moved up. Where Karl Malone, if it wasn't for that pick and roll,
the mailman, baby, the mailman.
Yeah, but all he mailed was the pick and roll. He didn't mail any like a 15, 20 footer or anything like that.
All right.
Yeah, well, I think he had a couple years where he led the league in rebounding.
Yes, he led the league in rebounding. All right, Andre, I'm going to prepare. We need to prepare ourselves because number 7 is going to really burn that dude up there at the top. He may turn red. He may yell at both of us.
Well,
He may tell both of us to go to hell.
Don't put Bill Russell there then.
No, number 7, as far as ESPN is concerned, the number 7 is Mr. Larry Bird. 13 seasons, 897 games, averaged 38 points a game, field goal percentage 24.3, 3-point percentage. Field goal percentage is 49.6. 3 points percentage was 37.6. Had 10 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 1.5 steals, and at least 1 block shot a game. Bob, does Larry Bird deserve? I can't even say without laughing. Does Larry Bird, the great white hope, deserve the number 7 spot or higher?
Higher. Higher.
High.
And here's my reason to that, okay? Because I'm looking at your top 10 list.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, he's got to be higher. And you know, I would replace him at maybe number 2 or number 3, maybe move Kareem up.
Ooh.
But the whole thing is Larry Bird. See, when Michael came into the league, Michael struggled because Michael didn't get good or didn't get really great until Larry Bird and Magic retired.
Yeah.
Okay. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird brought the NBA Finals from tape delay to live broadcast.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson won a ring in his first year in the league in 1980. Larry Bird won his in 1981, second year in the league. They both came into the league ready to play.
Yeah.
They didn't have to, have their careers develop.
Yeah.
Larry Bird, his basketball IQ was so much at the time better than everybody else. Larry was making passes you could not believe. Larry was gritty. I was watching a thing on Larry Bird last night. Kevin Lockery, who used to coach the Sixers and the old New Jersey Nets, was telling a story about they were playing the Celtics. The Celtics were up by 22. There's a ball going out of bounds. Larry Bird is hustling, dives into the bench to try to save the ball from going out of bounds.
Yeah.
Now the Celtics are up by 22 points.
Yeah.
But that's how he played every play.
Yeah.
He never took a play off.
Do you feel it's just a lack? Do you think it's just the lack of as many games as he played? Do you think his numbers would be skewed a little bit if he would have? You look at it, it's 897, so you're looking at a little under 200 less games than Jordan, right. And then you're looking at a lot less games than LeBron. Because LeBron, you're looking at LeBron.
But here's the deal,
right.
Okay. The top 2 guys on your list are on TV every night thanks to ESPN.
Yeah.
Okay. Larry and Magic didn't get to be on
right.
TV every night till around 1985.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're a kid in the inner cities and you're practicing to be good and you want to be just like, if you're a black kid in the inner city, you want to be like Michael Jordan. You don't want to be like Larry Bird just because he's white.
Yeah.
But if you talk to every ex-player who played in that era, they will tell you who was the best that you ever played against. They will all tell you Larry Bird. And the problem is a lot of guys making these lists didn't get to watch back then. Okay.
Yeah.
And, that they only know what they see now. Larry Bird would smoke LeBron James. Because like I said before, the guys from the past will just get better because they'll have better shoes, better equipment, better trainers, better workout regimens. Everything that the guys in the past get is better. Could LeBron play in the late 70s, early 80s? No. He probably could play, but they didn't shoot 3-pointers a lot back then. Yeah. LeBron would have had to play at 6'9". LeBron would have had to have been around the basket. Yeah. LeBron would have got the shit kicked out of him.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. LeBron had some in his younger years. Yeah, probably LeBron would have got smashed because he didn't have the body fitness, the strength.
Right. Yeah, he grew up to that size.
Right. And then he eventually his body grew to that size and working out, But I think if LeBron would have had to play, if LeBron would have had to guard Larry would take him out and shoot that 20-footer, 18-footer. He would have dominated that way. But if Larry had to go inside and try to make a layup or a dunk or whatever, I don't think he would have. I think LeBron would have held up his own.
But Larry did that against some big fucking guys in the 70s and 80s. He didn't. That didn't stop Larry. Do you watch those clips? It didn't matter who was in the middle.
Larry had to play against the two top defensive guys ever. Okay, Michael Cooper from the Lakers, and Dennis Rodman from the Pistons. Okay,
don't forget
those
Lambeer.
guys were known for defense.
Don't forget Lambeer beat the shit out of him a lot too.
Yeah. Well, Lambeer was a cheap shot artist, and they still don't like each other. All right?
He doesn't count. He's a cheap
there's
shot.
That story. There's that story is Larry Bird was talking about Bill Lambeer. He goes, Lambeer was a cheap shot artist because what Bill Lambeer would do is if you went in for a rebound, he would slide his foot under your foot where it's going to land.
Yeah.
And when you came down, you would twist your ankle all the time. So Bill Lambeer did that to Larry Bird one time. And Bird told him, knock it off. Stop. And Lambeer, Lambeer's Lambeer. So the next time they went down the floor, Lambeer jumped up to grab a rebound. Larry slid his foot under Bill Lambeer's foot.
Yeah.
Lambeer came down, twisted his ankle, sprained his ankle. He's out for 6 weeks. And Bird is laughing at him as he's running back down the court.
Yeah.
And you know what? Bill Lambeer never did that again.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to throw it at you, Mr. Sharp.
Huh?
I wrote this right here under Larry Bird's name on this list. Bob moves Larry Bird up to. I already wrote it, Andre. I already wrote it before we started the show.
Bob is going to move Larry Bird up to number 3.
To number 3.
And we're going to move Kareem up to number 2.
Well, we'll get to Kareem.
And we're going to leave Michael at number 1.
We'll get to Kareem. We'll get to Kareem.
We'll get to Kareem.
Yeah. Mr. Sala, do you leave Larry Bird at number 7? Oh, go ahead.
By the way, we're going to move LeBron down, but we'll get
I'm sure LeBron's going down, yeah. All right, Andre, do you leave Larry Bird at number 7 or do you move him up or down?
Well, Bob told me that if I moved him up, he would buy me a big Triton. So I guess I'm going to move him up.
Did he throw a potato in? Did he throw a potato too?
He threw 2 potatoes so I could make it. That's a good question. It really is, because I know that there's so many players in the past. I just can't remember their names because I don't have that kind of a mind.
Yeah.
But I got to think down in the past, there's got to be some better players than Larry Bird at that position,
Well, it's not the position, but the spot.
Okay.
Is Larry Bird, in your opinion, is Larry Bird the 7th best player in the NBA ever in the history of the NBA to you?
Yeah.
And if you say Chris Mullen, I'll drive to your house.
No, I'm not picking that drunk.
All right. Are you keeping him there?
I can keep him there for now.
All right.
And then as we go along, and then we hear other names, then maybe we can.
Yeah. Well, let's look at it this way. Bob's already stated it. At number 1, you got Jordan. You got LeBron at 2. Kareem at 3.
Number 1 is Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan is 1. Russell is 4. Magic is 5. And Wilt Chamberlain is 6. Is Larry Bird, in your opinion, better than those 6 guys up there that deserve a spot move up than the guys I just mentioned?
Jordan, no. He's not better than Jordan.
Well, no one's going to touch that number 1 spot. Right?
Number 2 is...
I know, Bob.
Who's number 2 according to ESPN?
LeBron James is 2. Kareem is 3. Russell is 4. Magic is 5. And then Wilt is 6. Is Bird better than any of those guys to deserve a bump up in number?
I think he's better than LeBron.
All right. So you're going to bump him. You're saying he's worth the number 2.
Number 2. Okay. He's not with number 2, but I think he's better than LeBron.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that one. We'll say I'll just write should move up for you.
Yeah. To me, Well, I don't want to say it out loud, but
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just hate LeBron.
yeah. We
And
all do.
I don't think he deserves, positions just because he's LeBron.
Yeah.
Granted, he can get in there and dunk. Granted, he finally did that 15-footer where it's gonna he's that you could trust him to make it,
Yeah.
or the 18-footer. And occasionally he gets the three, and I'm glad he does that, because if he hits a three, then he thinks he can hit another one, and he misses five in a row before he gets another one. So I
All right.
like that idea, But
All right. Let's
okay,
move.
He's better than LeBron,
Yeah.
you know.
All right.
Definitely.
Let's move up to the number 6 spot. And number 6 spot belongs to the great one, Wilt Chamberlain, 14 seasons, 1,045 games, average 45 minutes, 30 points per game, field goal percentage of 51-1. 0 threes because they didn't keep track of that, or
No, he shot him anyway.
he shot him anyway. Rebounds.
Well, there was no 3-point line back
Yeah,
then.
there was no 3-point
Right.
line.
Even if there
This
was, he
number
wouldn't have
shocks
shot
me.
him.
This number shocks me. 22.9 rebounds per game. 22 fucking 9. And for a big man at 4.5 assists per game is crazy. I didn't keep track of steals back then or block shots, but so 2 zeros there. But obviously, we all know that he sent a few balls into the fucking stands when somebody was trying to. Yeah. So, Mr. Sharp, is Mr. Wilt Chamberlain the 6th best NBA player of all times, or does he go up or down?
I would bump him up one spot,
One spot. Ooh, okay.
but I would always keep Chamberlain below Russell because Russell owned him when they played each other.
Yeah.
Russell, I mean, even though Russell was 6'9", Wilt was 7'2", 7'3", Russell dominated Wilt. And I would, but you cannot have a top 10 list without Wilt.
Yeah.
I mean, Wilt only got to score 100 points. Wilt had one season where he averaged 50 points, 50 rebounds.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he was a lot taller than everybody else, but again, he only has one championship or 2 championships.
Yep.
But he constantly was getting his ass kicked by the Celtics in the 60s. And he did have a loaded team. He had him, Hal Greer, Cassie Russell. He had talent around him. But I would put Wilt at number 5.
But I think, even though you're saying that he did have a lot of talent around him, I think the Celtics had better talent around Russell than Wilt did. So if you take away, but then it would work both ways. If you take away some of the talent that the Celtics had, maybe Bill Russell wouldn't have been as good or owned him, to in a game. Like maybe the level of competition between them might have been come out even. But then if you
Well,
take some of the talent that the Chamberlain had, then the same thing would you could say the same thing about the Philadelphia Sixers with Chamberlain taking some of his talent away. Then
yeah,
maybe
but I also think, Andre, that Bill Russell didn't score as many points as Will did, and every time Russell blocked a shot, he blocked it towards a teammate.
Yeah.
So I think on the offensive side of the ball, Russell wasn't the focal point of the offense, I think that's what I think that's why Russell could play better defense on Wilt, because he didn't have to worry about outscoring Wilt, because he had Bob Cousy, he had Sam Jones, he had Casey Jones, he had John Havlicek, he had a young Don Nelson, he had Frank Ramsey. I mean, 5 out of the 6 guys I just named are Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
But again, so is Hal Greer and Cassie Russell. But those guys, when they came down to play offense, the ball went to Wilt first.
Right.
The ball never went to Bill Russell first.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why, probably, as you said, Bill Russell owned Chamberlain. Where, again, if Bill Russell didn't have all that talent around him, maybe Bill Russell, maybe the Celtics might have won the games. Maybe they would have won the championships, but I don't think it would have been much of a, hey, I did you 9 out of 10 games. I outplayed you. I don't think that would have happened.
Right.
I think Bill Chamberlain, with his height and his strength, I think he would have been able to do better against Bill Russell. But unfortunately, Bill Russell had, even though Chamberlain had good
Fucking
talent,
dream team. The dream team.
Bill Russell had a better talent that's what made him win 11 out of 10 or
Yeah.
8 out of 11 or something like that.
Yeah, 11 out of 13.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right,
whatever the
Andre.
record is.
Wilt
Go ahead.
stays at 6 or does he go up?
In my opinion, realistically, in my opinion, I think he'd go up, and
Okay.
he would. I
So-
know everybody loves Michael Jordan, but I think I would have picked Will Chamberlain as number one,
Ooh, all right.
maybe even two, because with a dominating center like that, you can control the games and win championships more with a
Yeah.
few better talent players around him.
All right. Let's move into number
So it's,
5.
my opinion.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think from what I seen him do and what I seen and what his stats are, I think he'd be number one for me.
All right. I got both of you guys moving him up. And let's go to number 5. Again, another Laker. Magic Johnson, 13 seasons, 906 games, 36 minutes average. Low numbers, but I understand. We'll get into that. Bob will make me understand that. At 19.5 points per game, field goal percentage of 52, shot the 3-point percentage at 30, had 7.5 rebounds, 11 assists, almost 2 steals a game, and almost a block a game. And I had to add this because that's how ESPN write it out, just to make sure they clarify their reasoning for why he's number 5. And if you read the rest of it, it goes 13-year career. He led the Lakers to 5 championships in 80, 82, 85, and 87, and 88. And 9 appearances in the NBA Finals. The Lakers averaged 59 wins per season during the Magic era. They had to add all that, Bob. They just couldn't say Magic Johnson is the 5th best player. They had to let you know why. Is Magic Johnson number 5 on your list?
No, I already moved him down to number 6 because I replaced him with Wilt.
Yeah.
Does Magic deserve to be in the top 10? Yes.
Yeah.
But Magic had a distinct advantage over most of the guys who were guarding him. Magic was a 6'9" point guard.
Yeah.
So normally he's matching up a guy 6'4" or shorter. So he always had at least a 5 to 6 inch advantage. Now Magic was a freak of an athlete. Magic, I mean, he's a great athlete. Okay. Yeah. Would you want Magic taking the final shot of the game? No. He hasn't hit it.
Yeah.
He hasn't not hit it.
Yeah.
Magic was not a great shooter. Magic was a great distributor. Magic could run the lane. Magic could go the hoop. But if you left Magic alone from 18 feet out, Magic wouldn't shoot it because he knew that was the weakness in his game. But with all that said, Magic's in the top 10.
Yeah.
Magic was a great player. And would I love to put Magic higher? I would. I would, because I still think that you got to marry Larry Bird and Magic Johnson together, because they basically saved the NBA for everybody else, which LeBron destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, like I said, Magic and Larry took the NBA off of tape delay late night championship games and put them in prime time again. And they took the ratings from the lowest from the 80s and through Jordan play to the highest that the NBA's ever had, because that was the marquee matchup everybody wanted to see, was Bird and Magic.
Yep.
That was the marquee. If you look at those games' TV ratings, those are the highest game TV ratings.
Yeah.
Okay, there will never be a great marquee like that ever again, probably.
Yeah, you got to give it to him. He was the nicest guy, probably the nicest guy in the league. That smile. He knew how to work that fucking crowd, no matter what city he was in.
He was a nice guy, but he had that killer instinct, man.
Yeah.
Because if you go back and and listen to interview after interview. I mean, Magic Johnson is the reason Larry Bird worked so hard in the offseason.
Yeah.
Okay.
To beat him.
Larry Bird said, I would shoot 700 baskets a day in the offseason. And then he'd go, but I think Magic's shooting 800 a day. So I'm going to shoot 900 a day.
Shoot 900.
Because Magic was Larry Bird's great motivator to be better.
Yeah.
Just couldn't beat him.
And I think, and I think that's the persona that I don't think that the guys today are thinking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There will never be a Bird Magic rivalry. I don't think ever again.
No. Yeah. Mr. Sala.
But I would put him at 6. I wouldn't put him at 5.
6. Andre.
Yes.
Is Magic number 5 happy with you, or does he need to go up or down?
Well, if he goes down, then we got to take out some of the other guys that we just put in. The problem that I have, ESPN made this list, but they're making the list of just these, the 2010 generation to now. They didn't make a list of the 60s, the 70s.
Well, they're on the list. They're on the list. They're just farther down.
They're on the list, 50 and down, which is they're not really looking at the player, how good they are, how good they were. So I mean, okay, Magic Johnson's great. Yes, he's got that 18-foot. He can dribble. He can, he can take that 18-foot, 15-foot shot. I guess he's a good distributor, but I don't think if he was down low like a 6'9" player should be, I don't know if he would have dominated that position.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like Bob said, he's 6'9" dribbling, and he's going up against guys that are 6'3", 6'4", maybe 6'5". Of course, he's going to dominate and look good, but I don't know if he would dominate against players that are his size or maybe a little taller.
Yeah. Well, put him up against.
Bob's got something to say.
Put him up against James Worthy.
I do, and I believe it was Game 6, 1980, against the Sixers. It was the final game. Kareem got hurt, so Magic played center.
Mm-hmm. He played center. I remember that game.
And Magic scored 40 points.
Right.
But he didn't do it very often. But again, he still had the advantage of always playing point guard, being 6'9". Other guys are 6'4", 6'3".
Yeah. You're right about when I guess that by that explanation of when he was center and he was 6'9" and they won the championship, but it was just one game at the end of the so we don't know what would have happened.
Yeah.
If they had to go, well, it didn't have to because they won.
Yeah.
So that's what matters.
Yeah.
Well, plus 2 is he played against Caldwell Jones. I mean, I think if it would have been 3 years later and he had to play center against Moses Malone, I think Moses would have tore Magic up.
Yeah. All right, let's move into number 4. Number 4. Bill Russell, 13 seasons, 963 games, averaged 42 minutes a game, points 15-1, field goal percentage of 44. Of course, the threes don't count. Rebounds 22-5, assists 4.5, and 0 steals, 0 blocks because they didn't keep track of that shit back then.
Right.
Is Bill Russell the 4th greatest player in the NBA?
Yes.
He's not moving from that spot. How about you, Andre?
I think that's good. Good spot.
All right. So
he really did dominate his position. And I mean, he didn't change the game because there was no game to change.
Yeah, there wasn't.
But
it was either you were in the Celtics world or you weren't.
I'm going to argue with that a little bit because Bill Russell was the innovator of the block shot. Okay. They didn't keep a stat on it, but he was the innovator of the block shot. And what Bill Russell would do is he would block the shot and keep it inbounds, but he would always block it towards one of his teammates. A lot of guys today just like to block the shot and knock it out of bounds to show how tough they are.
Yeah.
You know how strong they are. But Russell's basketball IQ was, I don't know, phenomenal. You know what? And Andre, I don't know why you're not higher on Russell, because he went to USF and won 2 championships.
Yeah.
in college.
Yeah.
That's not my alma mater. That's Marine. That's Marine's alma mater.
Well, then it
Oh,
should
really?
be
Oh,
yours.
he's a Don? He went to University of San Francisco?
And and it should be
Right
yours.
on.
That's your wife. That should be yours. And
Well,
Phillips, and my brother Phillips too. That's his alma
I
mater.
really do like the the Russell. Higher than 4.
Okay. All right. I'm going to put that
I
down
really
there.
do like him higher than 4, but he like Bob John was saying that you have to change. One of the criteria is changing the game.
Yeah.
I don't think he changed the game at all. He just blocked the shots and that was it. And I'm sure that if you go back in history and you see the centers that were playing then, because they don't keep records.
Yeah.
We don't know how many block shots they had.
Yeah.
We don't know how many rebounds they had.
Right.
Because they didn't keep records. So if they would have kept records in those days, I'm sure some of the guys that we think, oh, they're not that good because they didn't do this, that, we'd put them up in a higher position too.
Yeah.
Sure.
But to me, it made sense what I said. To you guys, it might not.
Yeah.
No, he was the first great defensive center.
Defensive center.
He's the one that put defense in the word. But again, everyone's like, well, he played against Wilt. Yeah, Wilt's on this list.
Yeah.
Bob Pettit. He played against Bob Pettit a lot.
Yep.
Bob Pettit was a great center. Okay, Bob Pettit was a great offensive center, and Russell shut him down. Russell taught the world how to play defense as a center.
Mm-hmm.
And
in my opinion.
Bob Pettit is number 34 on the list. So he is.
Where's Thurman? Nate the Great. Where is he?
He's not in the top 50.
No, he's not in the top.
See, that's what I mean. Did it keep? Do you know?
Hold on, Andre.
Do you know that Nate Thurman is the only center that ever blocked Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's hook shot?
Yeah.
No other center could do it. Not even the great Bill or the great shit.
Well, Russell never got a chance to play against.
No, they played.
Russell's last year was 1970. That's when Kareem came into the league.
Yeah.
No, they played. Because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I think, well, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe they didn't come in out.
It's amazing, though, when you look at this list
Maybe
that I'm
they
looking
come in
at.
the 70s or 70, something like that.
It is amazing to see how many centers are on this list. It almost feels like that is the premier position. If you start looking through that list, I mean, you starting to see it. You just see a lot of centers. There's a lot of centers in there.
And the problem, though, is
even Mutombo's on there, dude, at number 73, dude.
Give me the ball.
Give me the ball. My Mutombo story, I got to drive him to the Mercedes dealership, and I didn't know who he was, right? So I pick him up at the Mercedes dealership. I worked for Budget Rent a Car at the time. He gets in the car, and the normal car we picked people up in was a Ford Escort. Now, just imagine, imagine with him getting from his big-ass Mercedes-Benz into this fucking little Ford Escort, right? He gets in, he sits down, he's got his bag, he puts it down, and he gets in the car. His knees are fucking touching the windshield. And I go, going to the gym to play a little hoop? And he goes, yeah, going to the gym to play a little hoop. Because, and here I am. Yeah, I play a little basketball at the gym sometimes. He just looks at me like this. Obviously, he knew who I knew. Obviously, he knew I didn't know who he was. And when we got back to, that was the best part of it is once he got into the office, everybody realized who he was. And I didn't know. And as he was picking up his car, he shook my hand and he said, you know what? That was the best conversation I had with someone in a long time, because it wasn't, oh my God, this is Mutombo. Oh my God, you're an NBA star. I treated him like he was just a regular guy going to the gym to go shoot some hoops at the Y. And he just loved that. He thought it was the coolest thing. Because once he got in there, everybody was asking him for an autograph. From the managers to the fucking car
Taking
wash.
pictures.
Yeah, could I take? Well, thank God we really didn't have the cell phone technology yet there to snap pictures. But so you guys are all right. Bob says Bill stays, and Andre says he should move up. So we're going to keep that in mind. Let's quickly move. Yeah.
Here's the thing. One of the things, because you said there's a lot of centers involved.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, your criteria was one that they should be able, can they play from that era to this era?
Yeah.
And I believe that most of the centers that we've talked about can play in this era or maybe one era below us.
Yeah.
They can, because the centers, they don't, it's not because they don't shoot.
Wingspan.
Right. But the game is so, it's not so physical anymore.
Yeah.
But they can play. They can play today's era.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Even though today's era is all about the threes for the big guys.
Yeah.
And most of the big guys can't.
Sorry, guys.
Most of the big guys can't hit that three, but I still think that the centers from back then can play today.
Yeah.
But the centers today, back then, can't do it.
No. All right, let's. You guys ready? We're gonna hear some arguments on this next one. Andre, prepare yourself. At number 3, another Laker, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 21 season. I'm going to read it just the way ESPN wrote it. Whoever the guy is at ESPN is a fucking Lakers fan, and that's all I'm saying. 1,560 games, 36 minutes, 0.8 per game, points 24.6, field goal percentage 55.9. I wonder why. 3 points 5.6 percentage, rebounds 11, assists 3.5, steals 1. Blocks 2, and of course they had to write in big bold letters, NBA all-time leading scorer with 38,387 points. Mr. Sharp, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar worthy at the number 3 spot, or does he go up or down?
No, he should either be number 2 or number 1.
Yep. Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar changed the game with his skyhook.
Right.
Now you had to have a different way to defend him. And most guys, what they did was, most centers they used to go at him on defense to foul him out.
Yeah.
To get him out of the game, because that was the only way you were stopping Kareem. You would, you throw the ball into low to your center, and that's why Kareem was never a great defensive player. Because everybody was coming at him, and he would let most guys score because he didn't want to foul out.
Yeah.
Because he knew his worth was on the offensive side of the board. But Kareem changed the game. I think it'd be interesting to watch Kareem play today in his prime with the skyhook and see all these centers now who can't defend shit down low.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
They would be fouling out trying to guard him.
And he had a quick first step too, man. I don't think people forget how he had a quick first step. I mean, that skyhook, he had to work to get to that spot, and he got there quick. And that, Mr. Sala, Mr. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar stays at number 3. Or does he go up or down?
This.
Don't think of it as a Warriors fan. Don't think of it as a Warriors fan.
I'm thinking that is Kareem better than Bill Russell? We got Bill Russell at 4.
Yeah.
And Kareem at 3.
And Chamberlain at 6.
Okay. Weren't those guys, maybe not Chamberlain, because Chamberlain scored just as easier than anybody else.
Yeah.
But Bill Russell really did hustle more, hustle better. He did lead his teams to 8 NBA championships, not 5 like Bill Russell. I mean, like Kareem. So I don't know. This is
6.
Maybe Bill Russell needs to move up a little more, and Kareem behind him.
So you want to swap 3 and 4 All right, I'll write that down.
That wouldn't be a bad position.
Yeah, no, that's not it. That's a good way of looking at it. Okay, so I got you, Andre, swapping.
You guys keep breaking up on me.
That's okay. You're
So
good.
sometimes I don't hear what you're saying.
Yeah, don't worry. It's all recorded and
Yeah.
it's clear. Andre, switch with Russell.
I'm surprised that we have so many centers there.
Yeah, well, that's
in that list. I really am, because there's so many good forwards and good guards.
Right, but back in the day, in the 60s and 70s and 80s, you had to have a great center to win.
Yeah.
It was all about the center then.
It was.
And I'm with you, Bob. I think he needs to go up. I think he needs to move up one slot. So I'm gonna write it down as he needs to move up. I'm not gonna say 1 or 2. I'm just saying he needs to move up. All right, brace yourselves, boys. Number 2, Mr. LeBron James, 1,366 games, averages 38 minutes a game, 27 points a game, field goal percentage of 50.5. He shoots 34% from threes, has 7.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, got 1.5 steals, and at least almost 1 block per game. Mr. Sharp. Hold on.
Okay. In my opinion, okay, this is just one humble man's opinion, okay?
Okay.
LeBron should not even be in the top 10.
Whoa, I'm going to write that one down. Hold on.
No, I mean, seriously, I don't believe he could have played in the 60s and 70s, because he wouldn't have been that big. He would have been lean.
Yeah.
And the game was different. He wouldn't have to shoot the 3-pointers and stuff. And except for dunking, okay?
Yeah.
He really hasn't changed the game that much. Okay, because if I'm looking for a 6'9" guy who's consistent with outside shot, who's not even on the top 10 list, I would look at Rick Barry, because I think Rick Barry is very underrated. I think Rick Barry in his prime could play today, because Rick Barry's 6'9" and can shoot from anywhere.
Yeah.
But Rick Barry's stats aren't going to be that great, because he spent time in the ABA with the Oakland Oaks, and I'm not sure if they combine the
stats,
if they combine the stats and stuff. But Rick Barry was the first guy, really big guy, 6'9", who shot from the outside. I mean, if you didn't have Rick Barry, I don't think you'd have Larry Bird. Okay, I think Rick Barry is very underrated. I mean, all right, on the 75 championship team, if they didn't have Rick Barry, they'd have lost.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you got Phil Smith. I don't know who the other guard was. You had Phil Smith, Rick Barry,
Ridley. I think at the other guards. I think the other guards. Okay, you had Phil Smith as one guard, and then the other guard, it was Dudley, and I can't remember but they switched the other guards. Maybe Jamal Wilkes,
Keith Wilkes at the time. Jamal Wilkes.
Yeah, Keith Wilkes at the
time.
Yeah,
then you had Nate Thurman, and you had Clifford Ray.
Yeah.
Right.
But
no, we didn't have Nate Thurman. We didn't have Nate Thurman.
Oh, Nate Thurman. Okay.
We had George Johnson.
Okay.
And Clifford Ray, and they switched back and forth as the center.
But Rick Barry was the first big guy who could hit from the outside consistently in the NBA. Now, over in the ABA, you had a center named Dan Issel who could light it up from anywhere.
Yeah.
But Dan Issel didn't play in the NBA much until the leagues merged, and he played with Denver.
Just a heads up.
I would definitely move LeBron out of, in my opinion, I would move LeBron out of the top 10.
Yeah.
Because the game now is different from when the game I loved, and LeBron won his championships with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, and he had to have help to win them. And I think LeBron's a great player. I don't think he's number 2 great.
Number 2 great. And Rick Barry is
Now,
number 37 on the list.
if
Yeah,
Rick,
I would move Barry up, but I probably wouldn't move Rick to the top 10
Right,
because
right.
I think there's a couple other guys like Dominique Wilkins could have been in the
all
top
right,
10 low.
Dominic Wilson was definitely a
Yeah,
great
and I
player.
think Dominique Wilkins probably is better than LeBron James.
Hey, he's number 44 on the list.
Mhm.
Wow.
Now, if they would have had the 3-point back then, Rick Barry could have been he could have been having all kinds of records.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
far as-
Rick Barry would have been Steph Curry.
Yeah.
There you go. Because
So
when I
okay.
was watching Rick Barry play, I thought he was the greatest shooter around.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely, me too.
I never thought anybody would come around to be a better pure shooter than Rick Barry. And then Steph comes, and I'm going, Jesus, I never seen anybody better than Rick, and this guy's better
Yeah.
than Rick, And
All
so
right.
anyway, that's it.
All right, Andre. So you are keeping him at number 2 or are you moving him
I'm
away?
not keeping him at all.
All right. He's out of
He's he's number 101 on the list of 100. He's 101.
Andre
No, I
moving.
just,
Let me write this. Andre moving LeBron out.
if LeBron would have just kept his mouth shut, played good play good
Eh,
ball the way he is, he would have been the hero to,
eh,
and he probably is anyway. But he would have been a superhero instead of just a hero to
all right.
millions of people around.
Here we are, guys. Number 1 all time, Mr. Michael Jordan. 13 seasons, 1,072 games, averaged 38 minutes, averaged 30 points, had a 49.7 field goal percentage, shot 32% from the 3-point line, had 6.5 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 2.3 steals, and almost 1 block shot per game. Bob, is Michael Jordan the greatest of all time? Is he the GOAT?
Michael Jordan is the greatest player in the ESPN era because he was the first guy who got the big shoe contract. He was the first guy to get all the big time commercials. Okay,
Yeah.
he was the guy who did all this great stuff. Michael made his teammates better, but again, I'm going to reiterate this. Okay,
Yeah.
I have a problem with calling anyone the greatest ever because of different eras,
Yeah.
technology, sports trainers, all this other bull crap. Okay,
Yeah.
it was not the same game. Michael got Michael got calls that nobody else would get because he was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan also got beat up in the paint, especially by the Pistons, because he's Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan will always have and I hope Mike Lavecchio is listening to me, okay? Michael never beat Larry in the playoffs. Michael's teams did not win until Larry retired.
Spoken like a true
Okay.
Celtics fan.
No, I'm talking like a true basketball fan.
All right. I give it to you.
But you can leave him at number 1. I'm fine with that.
You said what you said, but you still it's kind of hard to move him around. It's kind of hard. You can't put him lower than
He's
2.
either 1 or 1A.
Yeah.
Okay, he's either 1 or 1A.
You feel the same way, Mr. Andre, as a Warriors
Yeah.
fan?
I do, because realistically, I haven't seen anybody better than Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Boy, he loved playing he loved playing the Warriors at home, boy, didn't he?
He loved playing anybody. It didn't matter. He really didn't change the game.
What?
But he did change the game for dunking. Dunking became really popular all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And dunking it wasn't just a dunk from 2 feet off the board. It wasn't just a dunk from 2 feet
flying.
it was a dunking starting from the free throw line. The top of the hoop of the free throw line, or the top of the circle. So he changed the game that way, because all of a sudden everybody's doing it. and everybody's doing, pushing the ball under their feet and then bringing it back up and dunking. So he did that. But what was good about him was that he also, like LeBron James, he did perfect his outside shooting,
Yeah.
which just made him just as deadly from shooting outside as it did for him driving to the hoop and dunking
Yeah.
or just doing a layup. So he
Hey,
did that.
yeah.
So it's really hard to move him,
Yeah.
and I know you said championships don't count and da 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 da, but
Yeah.
just by the way you watch him play,
Right.
and I think he could have played like that back in the old days too,
Yeah.
because he would have had freedom to move around and dunk as much as he wanted to.
Yeah.
And in those days, even though they played really hard on on defense, I think he would have most of the times. I think he would have been above the guys, and they wouldn't have. It would have been harder to foul him
Yeah.
unless you foul him at the knees.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he fits all our qualifications. He is in the top 20. Could he play in any era? Damn well, yeah. Did he dominate his position? Hell yeah, he did. Did he change the game? I think he changed the game. I mean, I think he completely changed the game of basketball during his era. I think we went from a little bit of a passing kind of working the team kind of deal with Larry Bird and the
Right.
rest of the Celtic teams to a run and gun Bulls team. And I think he was part of that reason, that run and gun. I mean, I remember watching Bulls games and it was like watching the Warriors today. They were running and gunning. There was no set up a play. They were coming down and they were scoring. If you were ready, great. If you weren't, too bad, because they were going to score on your ass. How important was he? How important they were to their team? Let's be honest. No Jordan, no championships. To be honest,
Right.
the Bulls. Could he play two sports? Well, damn well he could. We know he did. He played
Right.
basketball. And like I said, championships don't count. MVPs do. And yeah, let's be honest. Got a lot of MVPs. Set a lot of records during his time that he was number one. By the time he retired, he owned a shit ton of records. So to me, I think Jordan stays at that number one spot. I can't see anyone. And to be honest, if anyone, I'm going to agree with Bob's a little bit here. If I was going to move someone to the number one spot over Jordan, I think it would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If I was going to move anybody. Only for the fact that they're both did the same things. Kareem changed the game. Kareem was the most important key factor in that Lakers team. And so to me, if I was going to move Jordan out of that number one spot, I'm with Bob. I would probably move Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up to the number one spot just because of what he accomplished during his career. Yes, he owns the fucking most points, which eventually is going to get beat. I think Curry will beat that by the time he retires. But look at Bob's face. So we're all.
Well, no, I mean Curry.
Yeah.
Curry would only beat Kareem
For the threes.
because of the 3-point shot.
Yeah, because of the
If there was no 3-point shot, Steph Curry would be average.
Yeah. All right. So, boys, really quickly, let's go through this. At number one spot, we all agree to leave Michael there, or does Michael move down?
Michael can
It's hard to move him down. It really is.
At number two, do we leave LeBron there, or who are we moving into that number two spot? I'm going to assume.
Rick Barry.
I'm moving Kareem.
All right, Kareem and
Rick
Rick Barry.
Kareem.
I am going to do A and B. How's that? So I am going. Yeah. So
No, just Kareem is good enough.
Kareem.
Yeah.
He's really good.
All right.
He did change the game.
Kareem. At number three spot, Kareem, we moved. So who do we put in the number three spot? Is it Russell? Is it Magic?
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. Andre, do you agree with that Celtics fan up there?
Well, he makes a good point, but I don't know about it.
Well, you got LeBron. We already decided LeBron's moving down the list. Is
you could put Bill Russell, number 3. I mean, that wouldn't be.
Russell's
That wouldn't
4
be
right
bad.
now. Would you keep Russell at 4 and move Bird up to 3?
I think I would have, if I was setting up a team, I think I would rather have Bill Russell than Larry Bird. And I think Bill Russell
All right.
was more of a catch player. I think, so I
So,
wouldn't mind putting Bill Russell number
all right,
3.
I'm going to put all right. So you're okay with 3 being Larry Bird then?
Oh, yeah, and let Russell number 4.
All right. So number 4 is Bill Russell. I agree with that one. I'm not going to change
Bill
that one.
Russell.
Bill Russell. Number 5 is Magic Johnson. Does Magic stay at number 5 or does he go down? Bob says down to 6. So
I'm putting Wilt Chamberlain at number 5.
I'm agreeing with you on that one. Andre.
Well, for me,
Yeah, give it to me.
I know we can't do it because you just can't.
Yeah.
But number 1 or number 2 for me, for Bill Russell, for Wilt Chamberlain, would have been fine. But I know we can't take
Yeah, you can't put
Magic
Will. You
Johnson.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah, so keep move Wilt Chamberlain up to what is it, 5?
Number 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't put him in much lower because he's too good of a player
Yeah.
to put lower.
Number 6 is Wilt Chamberlain on ESPN's list.
We just moved him up to number 5.
Yeah, I'm saying he's number.
Yeah, Wilt 5, and I'm moving Magic down to 6.
Magic is number 6, so I'm going to go ahead and move Magic to number 6 on the list. And number 7. Who's number 7 right now? 7, we have Larry Bird, but we moved Bird up.
Oh, gee.
You have Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, and Shaquille O'Neal. Or LeBron.
As number 7?
Or LeBron. That's what is available.
I'm going to move Tim Duncan up to 7.
You're going to move? Yeah, you got yeah.
And you're moving Larry Bird down?
No, Larry Bird's
Larry
3.
Bird's 3 for me.
Yeah, Larry Bird's 3 for.
So who's number 6 right now?
Number 6 is Mr. Magic Johnson.
Okay, so he's going to be. And who
Magic
was
is-
at number 6 before?
Magic was
Wilt.
Wilt. Yeah,
Okay,
Magic.
so we just swapped those 2.
Yeah.
So who's number 7?
Number 7 right now on our list is Tim Duncan's. On ESPN's list is Larry Bird. So we moved Bird up to number 3. So now we're on number 8. Kobe, Shaq.
There was no wait. There was no other choices between Tim Duncan.
Yeah, you can give me one. I'll put it in there. Who do you think should be?
Who did we have before though?
At the number 7 spot was Larry Bird, and Bob said to move him up, and you agreed. And at the number 7 spot,
it's Tim Duncan now by himself.
Yeah, it's Tim Duncan now, and Tim Duncan we all agreed should be higher on that list.
Yeah.
And
who do you move down?
Yeah, and number 8, we have Kobe left, which we said should be bumped down. Oscar Robertson or Julius Irving is the pick. I'm personally saying Julius Irving should be number 8 or 9, but it's up to you guys.
For my number 8, I'm going to insert Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay, that's what you have, yeah. You have either. Well, you guys have at the 10 spot. You said it should either be Bill Walton or Hakeem Olajuwon, and I said Karl Malone.
Right.
So at the 10 spot, which of those 3 deserves to be in a 10 spot? Would it be Walton or Olajuwon? But you're saying to move Olajuwon to 8.
8, move Olajuwon to 8. For me.
For you.
Right.
I got that. Yeah. For Olajuwon to 8. Are you happy with that one, Andre?
Not really.
All right. Who's your pick?
I think I'd rather have Bill Walton.
You said Bill Walton. That's right. I got that. I got Bill Walton at number 8. So, all right. Let me write that down there. All right. And number 9, we still haven't touched Shaq. I think we moved Shaq out. I think we moved Kobe out.
Shaq out.
Yeah.
So At number 9, I'm going to go with Oscar Robertson.
And that's the spot I am kind of stuck on, but I'm going to give you the Oscar Robertson, but I'm putting a slash there for Dr. J.
Okay.
All right. All right. So Oscar Robertson for Bob. Paste. And for me, it is going to be the doctor, Julius Irving. Andre, number 9.
I like Julius Irving.
All right.
I really do. And
you're a good Sicilian.
I really like the way he played. I thought, I don't think I ever seen him complain when he got fouled or mugged, but I did see a lot of Oscar Robertson doing that. Although
did they move his records, Bob? Are you Andre? Because he played the ABA first. Did they move?
No,
that?
Oscar Robertson started with the Cincinnati Royals, who later became the Sacramento Kings.
Right. Now Julius still played in the ABA.
He did. He started he started with the Virginia Squires.
Yeah.
Then he went to the New York Nets, and then in '77 when the leagues merged, he got Philadelphia got him.
Yeah. Number 10, guys. Who's number 10? You guys had we already put Andre said Bill Walton.
But he got moved down to 8.
Yeah, Bill Walton is not on the list.
We put him at number 8.
Yes, I did. Number 8. That's right. That's the fight between you and Bob.
Okay, so number 10, I'm not going to go with Shaq at number 10.
Yeah.
I am going to bump up Karl Malone.
I am too. Yeah. Mailman.
That's a good choice.
Karl Malone. I am going to move him in there. You guys will have to back up your picks online on the Facebook page. That's all I'm saying.
No, hey, I'll bring it on. I mean,
Andre's lucky there, Bob.
Catch a lot of flack for not having LeBron. Okay.
Yeah, Andre's lucky there. He doesn't have to see any social media comments. He doesn't have to look at Facebook haters.
Karl Malone was really good. He really was.
Yeah. No, you can't.
But how do you take away Bob Cousy or some of the Lakers?
Jerry West. How do you not have Jerry West?
Andre. This list, the guys at ESPN either wore a lot of purple and gold or green. That's obvious. So
the Lakers did have some real, like Elgin Baylor.
All right, yeah. Well, before we end the show, let's look at it this way. All right, how many other Bulls players are in the top 10 list or in the top 20 of this list?
Chicago
Bulls? Other than Jordan, how many other guys are on this list that played on that team? Does any of those guys make the top 20?
The only one that I could think of would be not what's his name, the crazy guy.
Pippen?
Scotty. I'd rather have Scottie Pippen than that crazy guy, Rodman.
Rodman is
Rodman.
Yeah,
and Rodman also was first. He was first with
Detroit.
With the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
So he didn't come to the Bulls and made that team what they were, because that team at that time were what they were.
Yeah.
He just came in and filled a spot.
Yeah, Pippen is 25 on the list. Pippen's 25 on the list. And John Stockton is 19. Why am I saying John Stockton?
So before Michael Jordan hit the Bulls, who was the only Hall of Famer to play for the Bulls?
To play for the Bulls? Oh, what's his name? He's a white guy.
No. Not Kerr.
Kerr. He was white. He was a center. No?
Bullwinkle or something like that. Was it Bullwinkle?
No. Bullwinkle. Get out of here. Bullwinkle.
No, I'm serious. There was a guy that was a center for them that I don't know how to. I can't pronounce his name, but I can't remember.
No, his name was Tom Bullwinkle, but he's no Hall of.
Yeah. I don't know,
Well,
Bob.
that's
Who
the-
was it, Bob?
That's the only guy that I could think of.
Who
Jerry
was?
Sloan.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jerry Sloan.
Jerry
Yeah,
Sloan,
you're
coach of the
right.
Utah Jazz.
Right, the coach of Utah.
Jerry Sloan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. I forgot all about Jerry Sloan.
All right, guys, we are done. It was fun. We're not going to do these. Maybe next one we'll do maybe next month, and that will be. How do you guys want to go? You want to go NBA or MLB, or do you want to do NFL? The next one.
Hey, you're the host of the show.
Bob's the host of the show, man.
Okay, Bob's the host of the show.
It's Bob, the Bob and John Sports Show.
Oh, okay.
Bob and John.
So Bob picks the
let's go. Let's MLB.
Okay, we'll do
because
MLB.
Football is going to be complicated.
Right, we're going to split
and defense.
Yeah, we're going to split football in half. So we're going to split offensive all-time greatest players and defensive all-time players. So we'll do baseball next and probably next month because this show takes more than an hour. So we're at the 2-hour mark right now. So, all right, guys, thank you. I will post our picks on our page there. Andre, maybe Marine will show you where the Facebook group pages for the show, and you can go on there and argue with some people and yell at them and tell them they're crazy. But this was fun. I had a lot of fun doing this, and the best part of it, and the reason I wanted to do this is kind of hear your guys' stories, because I started watching basketball honestly in the late 80s, when ESPN started showing college basketball in the middle of the night, because I was coming home on a Friday, Saturday night, cruising McHenry, getting home semi-drunk, turn on the TV, and there was always a college basketball game on, and that's how I got kind of hooked in it. But you guys go back 60.
You were a married man
In 91.
Okay,
in 91. But in the 80s, I didn't really pay attention to basketball. I kind of got hooked on watching the college game, and that was because of ESPN, and that was basically the only thing on at 2:00 in the morning was an NBA.
Well, the only question I have about that is, what the hell are you doing cruising McHenry?
Bob, just for Andre's sake, could you explain to him really quickly why it was important for a teenage boy to cruise McHenry on a Friday night?
Sorry to tell you though,
because that was social media, Andre. That's where you went and met girls, Andre. You're cruising down, you're talking to a girl. You turn around at that Long's drugstore.
But this was not. This was not the show.
Andre,
parking lot.
We're not. Wait.
The assistant night manager.
Yeah.
We're not in the 50s when you're cruising McHenry.
This was the early 80s.
Yeah, early 80s, man.
Right. For you, but I'm saying.
Yeah.
Think back.
Yeah.
Of that movie that they put
American
out.
Graffiti.
American Graffiti. Think of that movie. That was in the 50s.
Right.
Maybe early 60s.
So that was in the 60s.
Yeah, it was in the 60s.
That was in the 60s. Okay.
But that doesn't mean you had to go and do
Andre,
it.
He's so full of crap. He knows he cruised He cruised fucking El Camino Boulevard.
Andre.
I'm listening.
Right. Andre, here's the deal, okay? Same town as the movie. We graduated from cruising downtown to McHenry because it was probably 5 miles straight.
It was the only time in your life that you wished for red lights because you wanted to be able to stop next to those carload of hot women.
Cruising McHenry was the best.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got to cut this out because the show's running way longer than it needs to be. Maybe we'll do a graffiti night special. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Andre. This was fun. It was fun listening to your stories and putting this list together. I'll have it up on the Facebook group page, and I'll have it broken down to who's picks who's. And we'll see everybody next Monday. Peace out.
All right.